Hey fam, quick update on the market starting from USDT dominance. We have been quite bullish on this index in the last few weeks. So now we got a few of our targets being reached at 5.25, where the index has found some resistance. If this resistance holds, then we will be targeting the 5% area to take profits on longs and potentially even flip short. Remember that the index is still bullish and it will remain bullish as long as this 5% area holds. If we get a retest, what we will be looking at is a break of structure, basically finding acceptance below this 5% area. If that's not the case, and if we bounce off this 5% area again, then I think it is very possible that in the next few weeks we will reach higher levels for USDT dominance, which we will discuss accordingly. Regarding BTC on the weekly, we have a very important weekly close ahead of us. As you can see, BTC is currently finding acceptance outside of this diagonal trend line, which has been serving as support for BTC throughout the cycle. Obviously the chart is inverted, so don't get confused with that. Recently we did have a weekly bearish divergence that warned us that a local top for BTC could be in. This has played out so far perfectly. It is currently at the 50 area on the RSI, so this is why a weekly close will also be very important. I think anything below 108, 107k would be quite negative for BTC, but we will evaluate it accordingly. Obviously, if it finds acceptance on the weekly outside of this diagonal trend line, then we will be targeting lower levels for BTC in the next few weeks, and we will discuss all of them accordingly. So very important weekly close for BTC. What is important on this retest of this 100k, 105k area and 5.25% area for USDT dominance is that we finally have some retail capitulation in stock markets, which we can see by the VIX index, the volatility index of the S&P 500. So recently, as the market was approaching resistance zones like BTC at the 125k, where it printed the weekly bearish divergence, we did have a very low volatility index, which is never a good sign to be adding new exposure to the market, but rather to scale out, because investors feel too comfortable, and instead you want to add exposure to the market when the volatility index is increasing, like it has been the case in August 2024 or in April 2025. Obviously now we are not rising on the VIX as in the two previous instances, but that's because we don't have a big macro catalyst, but still a pretty big spike up today, which aligns well with 5.25% for USDT dominance. So long story short, we've been quite bearish on the market, luckily so, because it has played out perfectly. Now a short term we could see a bounce here from the 5.25% area. I've added some exposure towards Dow, might be looking to add some more exposure after New York Open, but we will play the market level by level, understanding how BTC looks from a macro perspective, and in my view we will be able to buy Bitcoin significantly lower in the next few months, possibly even next year, ideally on a weekly bullish divergence, because remember, BTC bottomed on a weekly bullish divergence, and it does look like it has locally topped at least on a weekly bearish divergence. So whenever we get a weekly bullish divergence, we will be long-term biased on BTC. So long-term rather bearish, also because of DXY bottoming out, and short-term we could see a bounce in the market. So hope this is helpful. Stay safe trading and have a nice weekend, fam.